Welcome to Tab Briefs, a weekly look at headlines from the world of faith for September 25th, 2020. I'm Tab Media Content Editor Carrie McWhorter, and here are some of the headlines that grabbed our attention this week. First up, Chinese Catholics are sounding an alarm about government distortions of the Bible in a school textbook. The specific Bible text in question comes from John chapter 8, a book on social media showing text that claims Jesus stoned to death a woman accused of adultery in order to respect the law of the time. The textbook, published by the government-run University of Electronic Science and Technology Press, aims to teach professional ethics and law to the students of secondary vocational schools. The Union of Catholic Asian News first reported this story of the changed ending to the well-known Bible story. Matthew Wong, a Christian teacher at a vocational school, confirmed the content, but said the textbook content varies from place to place within China. Wong added that the controversial textbook was reviewed by the Textbook Review Committee for Moral Education in Secondary Vocational Education. Catholic leaders said the aim of the change is to prove that the rule of law is supreme in China, and such respect for law is essential for a smooth transfer to socialism with Chinese characteristics. The news of the textbook follows reports from China that the Communist Party is cracking down on teachers who mention God or religion in their classrooms. Bitter Winter, a publication that reports on human rights issues in China, reported that teachers who mention God or religion risk employment termination as communist authorities increasingly control education materials and expand their list of banned topics teachers are not allowed to discuss in school and university classrooms. An English teacher from Shandong told Bitter Winter that the Provincial Education Bureau criticized her for mentioning God and prayer during a class on Jane Eyre, while another was criticized for mentioning mealtime prayers while discussing dining traditions in various countries. Now, China's Education Bureau also released a proposal to each school that establishes an ideological control team in an attempt to ensure teachers don't influence their classrooms with religious or ideological differences. Turning to Alabama news. Volunteers with Alabama Baptist Disaster Relief continue working in coastal Alabama in Mobile and Baldwin counties, helping residents clean up following Hurricane Sally. Volunteers from several other states also will be helping in Alabama cleanup as well. And this comes in Alabama while many teams from around the nation continue to work in Louisiana, helping with Hurricane Laura recovery. So many stories have come out of the disaster relief work, so follow Tab Media to read more of these accounts. Now, Sally was the first hurricane to hit Alabama directly in 16 years, but the state has not been immune from the tragedy of severe weather. On March 3, 2019, Lee County, Alabama was hit by a devastating tornado that claimed the lives of 23 people and destroyed entire housing community. Providence Baptist Church in Opelika served as a command center for nations, and now the church has erected a permanent monument to the victims of the tornado. The memorial includes a large cross surrounded by a base on which the victims' names and faces are etched. Providence Baptist Church pastor Rusty Sowell said the monument is a statement of faith and of the community of faith coming together, as well as a reminder of firefighters, law enforcement, and other people in the community who made a difference. The church is also in the process of renovating a train caboose that it purchased to make into an additional memorial for the 4 children who died in the storm. And finally, a broad consortium of religious groups are partnering for the Return, a national and global day of prayer and repentance to be held this weekend. Anne Graham Lotz and Angel Ministries, Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, CBN, Daystar Television Network, Hispanic Prayer Network, Museum of the Bible, and National Day of Prayer are just some of the many partners in the Return effort. Tomorrow's events at the National Mall in Washington include a lineup of speakers and a prayer march led by Franklin Graham. Those events will be simulcast on several television stations and streamed over the web, and several local events across Alabama and globally are planned. Those are your TAB briefs for September 25th, 2020. Thanks for joining us today. To get the latest news from TAB Media, go to tabonline.org, follow us on social media, and subscribe to our podcasts wherever you get your favorite podcasts.